Hey, welcome back to the Virgo Channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Always interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know if you're new to the channel, I like to go deep within my reading. So I like to look at everything, which means I like to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes along with everything else. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you have to be open to getting a shadow reading. You have to like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always the first word on the first card that I pull out. That tells me why everyone's doing what they're doing. Now, so if you're new to the channel, know anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, including the word of the video, will always be in the description box below. If you are connected to any other zodiac, check out my Psychic Soul Healer page. That channel gets no love. I don't know why. Or if you're connected to a Scorpio, check out my Scorpio page. That page gets a lot of love. So check out the other pages, if you're a cross watcher. So let's jump right on in to see what that word of the video is going to be. If I can find the deck. Okay, the word of the video. Let's see what it is. Let's see what it is. I'm going to pull right from the middle of the deck. I'm not going to look for the word is. Knowledge and wisdom. Got that one not too long ago. However, I feel like, again, it's still like that. It's still that higher, knowing the higher levels of consciousness, right? That is derived from unconditional love. So it's like when we meet a soulmate, a karmic mate, it's again, there's that instantaneous knowing is felt as claircognizance. And so I feel like, again, there's this strong spiritual connection. And there's also the internal knowing that I feel like that comes from a a strong spiritual bond. So it doesn't mean that you like everything that this person does. What it means is, or that they like everything that you do. What it means is that you know why they do what they do, and they know why you're doing what you're doing. And because you do care about this person, it allows you to see things from a different perception and vice versa. Again, when we have this strong souls bond. So I just feel like you don't think the way that this person thinks. They don't approach life the same way that you approach life. So there's this connection, and being connected to each other in that way makes you want to learn about each other. And so learning about each other actually opens up like new worlds per se. And those new worlds are actually parts of yourself that are, you weren't able to develop in childhood. So there's a sense of, you're not my type person. You're not somebody that I would normally go for. And, but there's this bond of unconditional love. And I know this, I feel like both parties know this because both parties have gotten really angry with each other and walked away, but always seem to energetically come back together again. So this is this knowing. I don't feel like you're in connection with this person right now, but that knowing is almost like, I know we're going to get back together again, and I don't know how I know this. So let's take a peek first and look at the shadows we have to, and we have to see how they triggered you. And then we'll go deeper into the, well, I need to take a drink of water, into the reading. Don't mind me. Like I said, I am dying of thirst. Okay, spicy dinner. Okay, let's see. Not to mention, I don't drink enough. I have to train myself to drink enough. Okay, so let's see what happened. Self-righteous. So I feel like this person had a problem with how intense the connection was. They almost felt like because the connection was so strong, it kind of made them feel really vulnerable. And this person has a problem with being vulnerable. They felt almost exposed. Their reaction to such an intense connection, I feel like triggered this person. So when you would try to talk to them about anything, it seemed like they would always come across as superior, not give you that much. And like I said, just coming across as like someone self-righteous, but they did this mainly because, again, I feel like their connection to you overstimulates them because, again, it's a real connection. And I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm just saying the reason why. And again, this is what I was saying, like to seem as if they were more superior, right? Again, when a person feels inadequate, they overcompensate where they try to come across as more superior, where again, they give less. But this is because I feel like the connection was so deep. They almost felt as if they didn't have control over themselves. And so that was it's very scary for them. And also, I feel like this person, unfortunately, when they get into relationships, they take on the energy to be the fixer because they're not really comfortable with who they are. So it's like any little problem that person has, they tend to come in and try to fix it and be the savior. And then what happens is that over time, people tend to take advantage of them because they're not coming in from their truth. They're actually doing that because feel like they don't feel like anyone will want them otherwise. Number one. Number two, they got their acceptance and love from doing. So this is habit when they get around people, which is why it's so overstimulating. So there's a feeling of lack within inside of them. But the thing is, it's like to come in and be the fixer, and then over time, the person that they're with doesn't want them to fix all the time, or they just continue to play that role, but in playing that role, they become resentful. They don't really want to do it. They feel locked in, and then I feel like they do sabotaging behavior. Like, since I had to do this for you, it's okay that I cheat. Since I have to do this for this person, then so their past relationships tend to be that way, and you didn't let them come in to be the fixer. But again, so it's like you don't need that. But because you don't need that, it's almost like you get punished because you're strong. So since you're so strong, I don't need to give you anything. It's almost like a punishment. But so either way, you would want to be strong and have this person not know how to deal with you because it's better for them to try to figure it out than it would be to actually have them come in and be the fixer. Because again, what you know is it's not based on like truth, it's based on the fact that they feel inadequate. So they do that and then they don't like the results. And then they justify their bad behavior, is what I'm feeling. It's again, and so what this person did to try to manipulate you was to be inconsistent, coming in and out of your life, not letting you become comfortable. Again, mainly because they don't feel comfortable. And just again, like always checking out, like after a while you felt like they were there but not really there. So again, ways to not really fully connect. And like I said, because if a person has a lot of trauma around relationships where it never works out, when they get in the relationship, if they get too comfortable, they either get bored or they look for a problem. You know, whenever problems aren't really there, it's because they're used of the drama, the actual everyday relationship that is normal, like it's almost too normal for this person, is what I'm feeling. Because they unconscious disturbed, like just feeling like, again, your triggers from this person is like, you feel like emotionally, they, make you mentally and emotionally suffer. Because it's like you're not, they don't really give. In order to be in a relationship with them, they have to elevate themselves. So in that, they don't give a lot. And but then they can be actually in a relationship with somebody that they don't have strong feelings for. It doesn't mean that they're going to treat them better, however, though. It means that, they're just not going to get triggered. Is that this person's very selfish. The thing is because they have a feeling of inadequacy when they get together with someone that they really like, it overstimulates them. And that's when their sabotaging behavior gets in the way. And again, and then in order to deal with it, they avoid it and they go into avoidance mode. So they, drink too much, smoke too much, talk to too many people. Sometimes it's all of the above. It's I don't want to deal with um feeling feeling inadequate. I don't want to really be in a relationship. So this person feels like no matter what relationship they're in, they don't feel good. And that's because they don't feel good. And they escape a lot, which makes you feel very alone. And then, but the thing is, they're always coming from a place of fear. So again, meaning fear of abandonment, fear, again, that no one's really going to like them. So they have to dominate the relationship, and they dominate the relationship by, again, emotionally. If they're there, but they're not giving, it's still making you feel as if you're not loved, you're not deserving. So this person, like I said, if they're acting like they're more superior, then they're not emotionally connecting to you because they're too busy judging who you are. And then because you're not weaker, and they can't control you, they're going to be inconsistent, in and out, in and out, in and out. And so again, they'll come in and only if they can be the savior, the fixer. It's again so that they can believe that they're a good person, even though I don't believe that they are a good person. I feel like, can they do that to make themselves appear that way? And you may actually even feel that they are because they're coming in a time of your life where, again, you're not at the highest point in life. It's like if you were to be in a connection with this person and accept them into your life. You didn't do this, but I'm saying, like, if you were someone that they came in and you would think that they were a nice person. It's like, I feel like you see it as a way that they try to dominate, the way that they control, they try and come in through your problems, through how they can help you, through how they can fix you, but it's, again, they don't want to continue that role because they're insecure. They come in that way and then they turn into who they really want to be once they feel, again, that they have you hook, line, and sinker. And so this isn't even about that there isn't a spiritual connection. There is. It's just this person wants full, like, full control over the relationship. And it's again, and it's not like it ever really stops. What happens is it's like, I feel like you've talked to them, you've had a few conversations with them about how you want to be treated, and they never really listen. They're always self-righteous and they don't want to change. But the problem is that they keep coming back, or their energy is still around you, where you're like, you don't want to change, you don't really want me, but I can still feel your energy is connected to me, and you're going to eventually come back. And it's going to be the same old vicious cycle, because there is a spiritual connection. Not all spiritual connections we're supposed to be in. Some spiritual connections just come into our lives to teach us, to show us different things about ourselves, to teach us, I mean, and that's really what it is. But if you're staying stuck in a vicious cycle where you allow this person to keep coming back, expecting them to change, obviously it hurts you. You don't grow. You don't get to see or learn anything different than the vicious cycle of feeling inadequate, not good enough, because this person is too busy trying to be superior. And again, powerless. Again, just being in a relationship where, again, you feel powerless, because it's like you want me, but you don't. You want me, but not enough to change. And then it's like, if you stay there, it's like you're not getting anything that you want, because they're not changing. And I feel like they act like they're powerless over, their addictions, over their, really, taking initiative to stand up and do the right thing for themselves, to stop avoiding, and to like stop the vicious cycles, because it's again what they are. They're destroying a very powerful connection, a very strong powerful connection that I believe that they are going to regret. It's again that, but not while they're still vibing at this low frequency. Yeah, again, sneaky behavior. Again, always feeling like they have one foot in, one foot out. They want to have their cake and eat it too, but they don't want you to. They don't want you to. And then you call them out again, that they're more superior, that they can do this, that they can act this way. I mean, that's just triggering. And you could say, like, why is this person, again, it would have such strong feelings for me and want to treat me badly? It's, again, there's a fine line between love and hate. And when a person doesn't believe that they are deserving of love, and they have only had bad relationships, it's a lot of times, if a person has only had bad relationships, they tend to act out. And they tend to act out the same way that their abusive parent acted out, the same way, again, that maybe their partner had acted out to them. It's almost like this person, just wants to, again, have their cake and eat it too. Like not being honest about who they are, not being honest about their feelings, not being transparent. And not being transparent because, again, I want to feel self-righteous. I want to, act superior. I want to dominate you, though I'll pretend that I'm powerless, but really what I'm doing is making you feel powerless. And it's, again, just being an unfair relationship, like feeling like constantly like it's a one-sided relationship. I feel like you didn't want to deal with it anymore. That's why you walked away. Unfair. You didn't want to deal with it anymore. It's like you called their bluff. You were like, I'm tired of this bullshit. You act like you're more superior than me. You act like you don't care. You play games. I tell you how I feel, and you don't really care. Instead, you're like you live by your addictions, again, between your substances and, too busy trying to be right, and then on top of it, dominate me. It stays, I'm tired of the vicious cycles. It's like you finally realize, Virgo, that in order for it to stop being unfair, you had to call this person's bluff. Again, because it's like they have time for everything else. They have time for everything else. And this is, again, like whether it's a hobby or it's an interest, they always have time for something else. And so I just feel like that's the way they tried to like dominate. Again, how does a person try to dominate is that they give nothing, that they make you feel less than, where everything comes before you do. And they starve the relationship. And I feel like that's what brought you to a place of like disgust. At first you were lonely, but then I feel like you went to disgust. And what, because this person's trying to form an attachment to you where you become dependent on them because they make you feel bad. So this person is used to dominating their relationships by playing games. So I feel like their past relationships are not good because of how they are. Again, it just felt lonely because it's, again, this person wasn't forming genuine connections. Attachments are negative. Attachments are when you need to have this person in your life. And I feel like this person needs to have you in their life because you're a stand-up person. People like you. This person feels inadequate. This person feels like there's something wrong with them. And because they do, again, they play a lot of games. Again, they have to elevate themselves so that they seem more superior, so they seem more desirable. This is a second chakra imbalance. They don't know who they are. They don't know, what a healthy relationship looks like because they're not healthy and they haven't created them. So again, their way is to dominate because they want to have the relationship. They just don't want to get hurt. So again, because they're not balanced, they overdo everything, and they overdo everything by, again, one way was to starve you out, deliberately not give you anything so that you felt bad about yourself. And meanwhile, like on a spiritual connection, like you knew what they were doing. It's like because that's how your reading opened up, this higher state of consciousness. This is an internal knowing. It's confusing because you're like, well, we have this connection and they did that. Fine line between love and hate when a person hasn't healed themselves. Again, love is a trigger. They don't believe that they can have love. So again, I feel like you had enough of the bullshit and you called their bluff. It's again, you were tired of the disrespect. You were tired of the one-sided relationship. You were tired of your feelings being ignored. It was all manipulation though. And I feel like this person is used to like dumpster diving, like being like with people that really don't care about who they are, just people that are going to give them what they want. The problem is that it's not very satisfying. The like hidden truths are there's so many things that remind them of you. Again, there is that spiritual connection. So even though they did all this, it's not like they broke the spiritual connection of, again, of unconditional love that transcends time and space. That energy is connected to God, right? It's again of pure consciousness, which is unconditional love. is what transcends the time and space. So even like your parent that you have unconditional love for, or a friend that you have unconditional love, that love never dies. And that person comes into the next life and they play a different role, but their energy is still the same. They might be a girl in one life, a boy in another life. They may be have their spiritual lessons when they're a child. They might have their spiritual lessons as an adult, depending on the lifetime, depending on what goes on. But the karmic themes are always the same. And the karmic themes are ones that we need to pass lessons to help us to raise into the higher state of consciousness, which is unconditional love, to move into that. And what we see here is that you and this person have that energy of unconditional love. It's just that this person is uh sneaky, and their way is to, control. They don't feel safe in a relationship. I'm afraid to contact you. So again, they're coming from a low vibe because it's, again, you called them their bluff. So there's a sense of, I don't know how to come back from that. I don't think they've ever had to deal with it. As I said, I feel like this person dumpster dives a lot. So they go for low hanging fruit. Again, people that don't invest in themselves, people that they can lie to, people that are desperate, they don't care. It's like they use those people for a need. With the you, that's not how it is. There's actually a connection. However, like I said, this person thought, well, I'll give this relationship, I want to do things my way. I'll give it a try, but I'm going to do it my way. And because they're so imbalanced, they barely gave anything. And again, unconsciously, it was mainly so that they can control the connection, which it's a controlling, that only works for people that don't care about themselves. This person misjudged you. And I feel like they misjudged you because you were kind to them. Because again, they felt you were naive. So let's go even deeper. See what type of relationship or what this person feels. Again, sometimes it's all spiritual. Sometimes it's, again, what they're going to do. This deck is so fat, so I never know. We are coming into union. So it's, again, I don't know how that is. I just feel like it's because they're looking for you everywhere. It's because there's an internal knowing that you're their person. Okay, spirit. So that's how. It's again that knowledge, that wisdom. It's again that what I see is, in spite of the fact that you walked away, it's like there's a desire to still talk to you. There's a desire to contact you. There's a desire. And where before, this person wouldn't even never considered to contact anybody. They're really stubborn. And again, they really have a big ego. So they would never. But now it's actually like they've been forced to think about how they treated you. They're being forced to think about how they're going to come back, and they're afraid to. However, the 1111 is almost like the awakening. So maybe this person feels like, I finally see the type of connection that this is. And that's why coming into union, because their intention is, I do want to come back. I don't know how to redeem myself. Our energy is stagnant. So again, no one's doing anything. So it's like this person is going to try and trigger. So it says triggers sometimes happen to break the stagnancy and help the energy flow again, because you're not doing anything. You're not giving anything. You called their bluff. You walked away. You're not, and it's driving this person crazy. And now they're looking for you everywhere. Everything reminds them of you. It's, again, there's a sense that if you still have those strong feelings for me, which I still have these strong feelings for you. So why wouldn't you have the strong feelings for me? This person's almost cocky. And they trying to feel you all the time. See, they're still connected to you. So whether you're thinking about this person or not, they're imagining that they are. And that's why, again, there's a sense of it's driving them crazy not knowing. Like part of them thinks we're connected. We've always had this connection. You'll take me back. But another part of this person is like, you're not doing anything. You're not saying anything. A lot of time has gone by and you're their person and they've realized that you're their person. So I feel like this person is going to try and bump into you and they're going to try and trigger you. They're going to do something to try and trigger you again, to say something, to do something so that they get some sort of a reaction because you're not giving anything. And they don't really know how to come back and they don't want to come back where they're, like I feel like, and then things like where they look like a pussy, this is what they feel like. It's again where it really doesn't need to be this person again. It doesn't feel adequate. So again, they will never take responsibility. They don't feel comfortable, I should say, taking responsibility for how they treat, you. They have avoidance style, which is, I don't want to deal with it. It's just now that you're like, well, I don't want to deal with it. The attachment, that what they see is it's one-sided, that they're attached to you. And that's making them not feel comfortable, not making them feel easy. It's like almost like you have all the power now when you did that. And where it's again, relationships are not about having the power, but this person thinks that they are. Remember, they wanted to dominate you. It's again, you are my true love, my heart, my soul. So again, this is what this person thinks about you. I feel like because you're not giving them what they want, it's again, it triggered their abandonment issues. And it's almost like they had a parent that abandoned them. And, the fact that you're not giving them what they want and they want to dominate you, there's a sense that they're obsessive. They're obsessive, like thinking about you being like, I feel like they're thinking about you morning, noon, and night, and they feel like you're the person of their dreams. But again, it's not 100% grounded, but again, you're not doing anything. So you're not saying anything, which is making this person think about you all the time, which is convincing them that I must love you. It's again, you must be with me. That you should be with me. That means so again on all different levels. They're saying that, but then they're also like, I'm terrified to contact you because I don't really want to know. You might turn around and tell me to go shit my hat and stick it over my ears. I don't know how you're going to treat what you're going to say. It's like, and I'm afraid to contact you because I don't want to get rejected. As I stay in this place of not knowing, I feel safe. It's again, but then now it's like it's stayed this safe for a long time. This person expected you to, get triggered, expected you to say something, to do something. And now that you're not, it's scaring the shit out of them. I feel like they're just gonna come running towards you one day. When we're talking, things just come out of my mouth, and afterwards, I'm not even sure why I said them. I feel like this person, there's a comfortability. I also feel like you bring that out in them because it's a real soul's relationship. So when they're around you, they feel vulnerable. And they do. There's a part of them, the real them, that wants to share, that wants to open up, that wants to feel that deep intimacy. It's just there's also the wounded part of them that, wanted to control, wanted to dominate. And the truth of the matter is, you called their bluff. So now it's again the power that they had, they've completely lost. So it's triggering their childhood wounds, is what I feel like, which is making this person, believe it or not, love you more, become obsessive, or they're convincing that they are, because they can't stop thinking about you. But part of that is because you took back your energy. I wanted to send you a message today, but I was afraid to. I don't know if you want to hear from me or if I can say the right things to you. See, again, says it again. This person is obsessively thinking about you, wanting to contact you, but again, has never been put in this position before. So, um, what I see is that they're overthinking, they're over analyzing. Instead of just coming towards you and apologizing, there's a part of them that I feel like still wants to have a relationship with you. And so they don't want to hear that you wouldn't be interested in them. And there's a sense of, I don't know if I can say the right thing, but what we see is twice it came up. When I let myself go deeper into thought of you, I can feel my heart opening. It's again, so there's a real spiritual connection, and they want to feel that way. It's just, I feel like they're not capable of feeling that way right now because they're too afraid. And so, like I said, I feel like it is a very strong spiritual connection, at least on this person's part. I don't see them capable of doing anything right now. Um, and I don't want to just keep pulling cards to keep pulling cards, because like then it becomes inaccurate. So it's like I just feel like this person like has very strong feelings. Our love will manifest through the union of heart and mind. So it's again, they just feel the spiritual connection and feel like, you know, I feel like them marinating in that, the connection, and saying, I'm kind of going to put it in the hands of the universe. And I only say that because they're like, I feel these strong feelings for you, but because I'm not quite sure how you're going to handle me, I'd rather not come back unless for sure I know that it was a slam dunk that you were going to be with me. Otherwise, I can't handle the rejection. But this person kind of has faith because they're like, our love will manifest through the union of the heart and mind, because there already is an ESP connection and they feel like it's still there. And it's like expanding these areas allows us to grow deeper. So again, they're leaving it up to the universe. However, this person wants to hear from you. They're almost just terrified because of how they treated you. So we have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? Because it's like what I see is a person that, because you called their bluff, it's again, it's forcing them to, have to do the work. But like I said, they're almost like, it's everything is a process. So most likely by the time they get coming back to you, you've moved on the way that this person moves. But again, and the way that they deal with the situation, it's again like they avoid it. And then after they see that they can't control it, they're like, well, I'll come right on in and I'm going to trigger you so that you do something, so that you say something. So it opens up the lines of communication instead of coming back the right way. And this is where this person like goes wrong. It's like instead of just being open and honest. So again, we have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? What are you supposed to learn? And this is imagination. Well, that's actually a gift. The inner child cards. These are usually the inner child wounds, but they could also be gifts. Again, our shadows are not just wounds. A lot of times we find our gifts. So imagination is our number one. And I feel like when you left, this person, your imagination opened up. I feel like your creativity opened up. Um, that could also mean that you became more psychic. Um, the situation might have made you more psychic, but the imagination is the realm of, you know, if you can imagine it, you can create it. So again, I feel like you started to get ideas and started to ground those ideas. Play through the things which you love to do. And that's really what they say, to be like childlike, because children utilize everything to create themselves. Again, they use that box to pretend it's a tree fort, you know, or a fort. And then when it rains, it's no more. And they may go out and search for another box, but a lot of times, you know, they get detoured by something else, by friends, and then that take them into a whole new directions, into whole new journeys, and like a whole new world per se. And in through that world, they recreate what they're going to do through the realm of imagination. So I feel like during this time, you put that time into yourself. And as I said, it opened up your creativity. But you were always creative. As a young child, you were creative. It's again the way that we deal with our own traumas as children, the way that we learn to deal with dysfunction as children. I feel like, again, you were always an imaginative child. And again, a playful child. And people that are playful usually, you know, they go out into the world and they, you know, see what's out there, what stirs up their soul, and experience so many different things that also feeds their imagination. And that's where you found your gifts. So again, I feel like even though this person, you know, like I feel like it was a bit toxic, and now it's again, they're still not on the same vibration, even though they want you in their life. They're again, unless it's going to be a slam dunk, they're not going to risk it because they wouldn't be able to deal with the rejection. So that's kind of a bummer. But you know, better for you to do what you did, which was put the energy into yourself, help create it yourself. And again, through the playing, and playing is just again finding yourself, doing the things that you love. You found your gifts again and opened up your imagination, your creativity. And these are all things that help you manifest to that's really what I feel like. I feel like you're able to like you're a lot more secure within yourself now that you're not with this person and you put the energy into yourself. You have a better understanding of also who you are, and you actually see your potential, which needed to happen because you attracted this person that again doesn't feel good about themselves. And that had to have been that you attracted this person because you also didn't feel good about yourself. And that could be like, again, everybody has shadows. Everybody feels inadequate about certain parts of themselves. However, when you don't work on those parts, is when you're going to attract a person that triggers you. So what I see here is that this person, like I said, played a lot of games. And during that time is when you disconnected because you had enough of their bullshit. But it brought you to your gifts. And with that, you're able to create your life. So I'm going to leave that there. Oh, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to pull one more card. getting late. I'm getting sleepy. But I gotta pull this one last card, and this is so what are we supposed to be learning again from it, or is there any other energy that we can pull into this situation, being that this person probably is never going to catch up in their mind? They think that maybe one day, but it's very vague, and unless it's a sure thing, it's again, they're willing to just let the relationship go to save their own ego. We have to say, well, if I'm connected to the person and they don't, I mean, that doesn't make me feel good about myself. So what does spirit have to say about that? You know, that we invested time, and there may be like a little, like, you know, like a feeling of hurt there. Like we still hold a place in our heart for that person, and that person's never going to be able to come through. What do we do? And spirit says, goodness, I overcome my imperfections. Because again, being connected to someone like that, science shows that again, that you feel damaged almost, that you feel not good enough to be connected to that. So it's polish your character and feed on the positive. So again, it means become the best version of yourself. Allow your goodness to manifest and become a source of joy. Again, and that's going to help connect you emotionally to people. So this person wasn't giving emotionally. They wanted to be too superior in the beginning and wanted to control you and dominate you instead of actually be in a relationship. And then doesn't want to come back unless it's going to be a sure slam dunk with very little work is what I see. So it's again, know your own worth. And since you don't, you have to overcome your imperfections and understand why that is. And that would be, why do I feel that I'm deserving of such a person that doesn't give that much? And through gentleness, offer unconditional support, understanding, and love to yourself and others. So again, if you don't feel good about yourself, then you need to again do the shadow work and then go out and connect with other people, even if it's through charity work, through doing things that are going to make you feel good about yourself. It's again to really learn how to open up your heart, because like I said, this person, being connected to this person that doesn't feel good about themselves. I feel at one point you didn't feel good about yourself. And that was mainly when you first met this person. And though you might have said, I felt good about myself, I just wasn't where I wanted to be. But again, if you're not able to support yourself, if you weren't able to, if you hated the job that you worked with, there was some part of your life you felt inadequate. And there's only two energies, love and fear. So you might have been only in a temporary space of not liking where you were. However, I don't feel that, but you could have and still attracted a person like this. I'm feeling more that, you needed to find your gifts. You needed to find your worth, because it was part of you that couldn't really imagine a life that you were going to feel happy living on your own. Like you couldn't see yourself actually being able to connect with anyone really even that deep. And so it's again, when you create yourself and find yourself, you're interacting with other people, and that is what allows you to do that. And when you have that support, it really again allows you to become yourself, because you are investing in yourself. And when you do, you get ideas from everywhere that serve your soul, that trigger your imagination, to help you again to create your life. So what spirit says is, it's again, if you still feel hurt that this person may never catch up, it's again, don't, because you learned the spiritual lesson, you did what you needed to do. That's why there's no karmic consequences for you. There's karmic consequences for this person, however. because again, you did what you did and now they're stuck looking at it and having to face that situation. Again, that you're not going to return, that they sabotage the connection. It brings up all those past wounds for them of feeling inadequate, which is why they felt the need to be superior in the first place. They'll have to look and see how they sabotage the connection. Now, will that be enough for them to heal 100%? Sometimes yes, a lot of times no. It's again, and that keeps them stuck in a place of pain, feeling like they can't have love, which is again why they will continue to act superior until they actually do the shadow work. And that spirit says, if you still feel sad being connected to that, is that you need to again know your worth, know your goodness, and again do what you can to open up your heart and to know your worth. And that's a lot of times, like I said, is connecting to other people, because they will show you a different perception of yourself when again you're interactive in life and the things that you love, you're connecting to people. And over time, people again let their guard down. But in how do you connect deeply with your guard down? Only through the things which you love, only through investing in yourself, only in that way, because then you're meeting other people that are gonna again be kind to you, be nice to you, give you more. This person, that they're not going to act like they need to be superior unless there's something wrong with them. It's again, but most time, people that invest in themselves, people don't tend to want to come across superior. They avoid people that feel the need to be superior. They avoid people that invest in themselves, because when push comes to shove, the person that's acting superior doesn't invest in themselves either. They just bought certain things and have staged their life to look a certain way, which is again why they again are overreacting, like reacting the way that they are. When I say over, like overdoing it is what I'm talking about within their behaviorisms to make people feel a certain way. People that feel good about themselves don't feel a need to dominate, don't feel a need to control. It's only when we are in fear. And the only time that we're really in fear is when we have blocks to being able to manifest, because we know what they feel like. So we try to prevent them. And in that, we wind up creating it. And that's what happened in this story. This person was trying to, again, come across one way, and they came across it completely the way that the way that they feel is now the way that you perceive them. And which is someone that has feelings, but is too weak to do anything. So I'm going to leave that there, Virgo. I hope that you resonated, and not because of the story, because the story is kind of like shitty story that the person is, but that you understood the story, I should say, because I never really want to say I hope that you resonated with a shitty story, that a person that can't get up and do what they should do, like step into the best version of themselves for you. But you know, but you understand. Now, if you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I want to thank all people that have been supporting the channel. And I just wanted to say I read all your comments. I look forward to all your comments, and I appreciate you guys so much. I love you guys so much. And I will do another reading for you tomorrow, and I will be on again doing live stream Wednesday night from my winner. I forget his name. It's a guy, and I'll be having open the floor for open chats and for super chats rather. So I'll be able to answer all your questions, whether they're personal for yourself or whether they're just spiritual questions, on Wednesday after 9, most likely, after, because the channeled reading usually goes from anywhere from a half an hour to 45 minutes. So then as I said, I open up the floor to have you guys ask questions and, whether they're personal questions or spiritual connections. So don't forget to mark that down on your calendar, Wednesday night at 8 p.m. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. And thank you again for supporting the channel. Bye.